Oh, that's a writer's thing. I was like, list of topics. What's that? Not our thing.
Okay. Ooh, it's dedication and leadership.
Oh, nice. Okay, we have roles on a film set. I think we did that. 10
More or less.
forms you need on a film set? That'd be boring. Daily life of an MUA podcast editor. We've done Yakima. Where's that? Why you should watch indie films. Dream so big that it includes others. That's something you said.
I don't feel like that's a whole podcast worth, though.
Mm-hmm. Physics and film. Why you should become a physicist.
We were going to have Dad on for that one.
Oh, yeah. Location scouting, the adventures of filmmakers, fashion in film, makeup versus special effects, prop making, film finances, trending entertainment. We kind of did that one. Storyboarding and schedule example. Those are all blog posts, though, so not all of them really apply to podcasts. Those were all my ideas, though. What do other filmmakers talk about on their podcasts?
Currently, the Dooms are doing a series called Doomed Productions that's about productions that everything went really badly on set.
Oh, that's cool.
They're 3 in. They've done a movie called Roar, I think, which had a bunch of lions.
Whoa.
That this family just bought. And they built this whole property, and everything flooded. The lions, people were injured by the cats.
Oh my
gosh. They were they went massively in debt for the movie, and it took 15 years to make or something like that, and
what?
Pretty crazy. Yeah, and they also did the story. The second one they did was Gladiator. Not that. No, it was Ben-Hur, and then it was Gladiator.
Oh, yeah?
That was the third one. Yeah. Not that either of those were, as, I guess, horrific as some of the things that happened on Roar, but just, crazy things that happened, and, people were rioting during the filming of Ben-Hur because something about they had enough extras, and, the extras rioted for some reason, because they had, actual thousands of people for the chariot crowd scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did they riot, though?
I'm trying to remember. Something we were actually not able to pay you as much because there's so many of you. Or it was something to do with, pay or...
That's not cool.
P.G. Woodhouse? Oh my gosh. This P.G. Woodhouse book contains Uncle Fred Flitz by. There's a video of Jared recording this on the occasion of his 40th birthday, unlisted
I've
on the
seen
Granny
that.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You watched it?
No, someone else showed it to me. It might have been you, actually.
Okay.
One of our YouTube comments says we should discuss Saving Leonardo in a future podcast.
We should.
I don't know what that is.
That is my favorite book on art ever written.
Aw.
Yeah. But it's been so long that I can't really coherently describe it, but it's a Christian book, and it goes through the history of art and different movements of art, and kind of where we are now at this point, which is there's the analytical and the romantic mindset, both of which came about in kind of the 1800s or early 1900s for the analytical, and they both take opposing viewpoints. Both of these ideas are in pop culture, so the romantics are this world, everything, it's the ideas and the emotions, that's the interesting part about life. That's what we need to focus on, and we're trapped in these crude bodies and all this stuff, and then the analyticals are they're materialists. They're oh yeah, emotions and stuff that's all fake. No, there's no spirits, there's no, we're just here on earth. The book is about how art affects philosophy, and how art and philosophy are kind of chasing each other around, and the Christian perspective on that, and it's my favorite book on art.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So do you think you're a romantic or an analyst?
analytical. I feel like that's not even the right word. I am neither, because neither of them present the holistic view of the way God created the world. So,
yeah.
in some ways, I identify more with the Romantics, but also their viewpoint is flawed. So,
Yeah.
oh well.
Let's look up more comments. On episode
we're just reading
2,
our comments for this
why
podcast?
not?
Okay.
At least for now, till we come up with something to
And I
talk
can
about.
flip through PG Woodhouse and read little bits. Oh, it's Uncle Fred Flits by.
So our second episode podcast on YouTube has a bunch of comments about apples.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember talking about apples.
That's funny.
But there's someone says, most people might question my authority on this based on being more pear than apple, but I completely agree on Red Delicious. I honestly never understood their appeal. Me neither. I do have nostalgia for those grapples that were trendy in the mid-2000s. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what those are.
That's okay.
I've heard the name, but I don't know. Like, nothing's coming to mind. Here's a quote from Uncle Fred Flits by P.G. Woodhouse. What it boils down to is this. Is it better to have a loopy uncle whose loopiness is perpetually on tap but spread out thin, so to speak, or one who lies low in distant haunts for 360 days in the year and does himself proud in London for the other 5? Dashed moot, of course, and Pongo has never been able to make up his mind on the point. Naturally, the ideal thing would be if someone would chain the old hound up permanently and keep him from January 1st through December 31, where he wouldn't do any harm, viz. Among the spuds and tenantry. But this, Pongo admits, is a utopian dream. Nobody could work harder to that end than his Aunt Jane, and she has never been able to manage it.
Interesting.
The whole book, or the whole short story, is somebody is overhearing this guy Pongo. So this guy Pongo walks in and everybody's like, oh, did you hear what happened to him? And then the narrator is recounting this story being told by somebody else to somebody else about Pongo's crazy uncle coming into town, and it leads them into breaking into somebody's house and impersonating the owner and all kinds of crazy shenanigans. It's hilarious, and having it read aloud by Jared was the best thing.
Now I want to make this a movie.
Oh, we totally should. Oh my gosh. What's the date on this? Is it... I want to know if it's public domain. 1939. Shoot.
So close.
Well, that's Uncle Fred in the Springtime, not the other things. I don't know. Yeah, it's from the 50s, the 30s to the 50s. So I don't think that's quite enough. This is hilarious. This is the foreword from the book Over 70 by P.G. Woodhouse. Foreword. There is a rare treat in store for the reader of this book. Except in the foreword, which will soon be over, it is entirely free from footnotes. I am not, I think, an irascible man, but after reading a number of recent biographies and histories, I have begun to feel pretty sore about these footnotes, and not in the mood to be put upon much longer. It is high time, in my opinion, that this nuisance was abated, and biographers and essayists restrained from strewing these unsightly blemishes through their pages as if they were ploughing the fields and scattering the good seed o'er the land. I see no need for the bally things. I have just finished reading Carl Sandburg's Abraham Lincoln, The War Years, and Carl manages to fill 4 fat volumes without once resorting to this exasperating practice. If he can do it, why can't everyone? And this is funny because here it has in Straight for the Reader 1, or readers, let's be optimistic.
That's half a page of footnotes.
Exactly. That's the whole joke. Oh my gosh, this is delightful.
Wow.
See, P.G. Woodhouse is just the best. Most people only know about him from the Wooster and Jeeves show, which is apparently famous and I've never seen.
Neither have I.
And I've never actually read any of those stories, but I've read other stories by him, which are really fun.
Nice.
The British humor is just off the charts. What other books have we here? Did you find more fun comments?
No. I mean, there's a lot of comments.
Do better. They weren't fun.
I mean, they're okay. I could read them.
Virgil, the Aeneid.
Enid.
It's so counterintuitive. I always want to say Aeneid, but I know that's not
Just ignore the first vowel. And the fourth vowel. The first vowel of every vowel pairing, ignore it. Enid. At least that's what I'm guessing. I don't actually know.
I doubt it would have a pronunciation guide in here. Debaters and a warrior girl. Ooh. A night sortie, a day assault. Arcadian allies. I'm reading this backwards. Juno served by a fury. Games and a conflagration.
Ooh.
The passion of the queen. I actually don't know. Wait, no. No. Yeah, I don't know the plot of the Aeneid.
Let me look it up.
How they took the city, a fateful haven. Wait a second.
It's a poem.
Well, yes. So, it's not the Iliad and the Odyssey. I know the plots of those, and those are by Homer.
It's a legendary story of Aeneas, something, a Trojan who fled the fall of Troy and traveled to Italy, where he became the ancestor of the Romans. Wow.
Oh, I think I actually do know this story.
It's nearly 10,000 lines of dactylic hexameter. I said that right. There's a lot of good lines in here. The descent into hell is easy. Let me rage before I die. The gates of hell are open night and day. Smooth the descent and easy is the way.
That sounds like the Bible.
Do the gods light this fire in our hearts, or does each man's mad desire become his god?
Read that again.
Do the gods light this fire in our hearts, or does each man's mad desire become his god?
Wow.
Interesting. The last one it says on here, through pain I've learned to comfort suffering men. It's true. Hey, it's only $2 on Kindle.
Nice. The death of princes. Ooh. The fortunes of war. Postscript. Brief glossary. Daedalus, master craftsman, father of Icarus, he built a labyrinth for Minos of Crete. After helping Ariadne and Theseus to solve the maze, he escaped to Cumae.
Oh, I've heard of Theseus.
Yeah. Theseus and the Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apparently it's actually not pronounced Theseus, but I think that sounds cool and better than like Theseus or whatever they say it's supposed to be. Like, how do they actually know? That's what I want to know. Is Greek still spoken the same way today? I don't know. Probably not.
English isn't.
Yeah, most aren't. Drepanum, a city in northwestern Sicily. Legolas!
Wait, what?
It's not spelled like Legolas, but like Legolas, a people of Asia Minor.
Or Orlando Bloom in a sexy blonde wig.
He looked alright. Yeah. Manlius, Marcus Manlius Torquatus, saved the citadel of Rome from the Gauls.
Imagine being named Manlius.
Phegeus, 1, a servant of Aeneas, 2, a Trojan slain by Turnus. These are definitely Roman inspired with all the US at the end.
Well, it just said this was the ancestor of the Romans.
Yeah. Tmarus, 1, see Tmarian, 2, a Rutulian. We should steal some of these names for 29 Trouble. How about this one? Thersilacus. Thersilacus, probably. I'm glad you're as amused by this as I am. I don't know if anybody else is.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We'll find out when people stop watching.
Acesta, a city of western Sicily. It's typically within the first 4 minutes. Achilles. Oh, we know who Achilles is. Afri, a people of Africa. Who would have thought?
I would have called them Africans, but you know.
Bothrotum, a town of Chaonia. Dolopians, a people of Thessaly, allies of the Greeks in the Trojan War. Those Dolopians.
Is this just the whole index?
This is the glossary. It's a brief glossary, actually. Galatea,
Brief.
a Nereid. I don't know what that is. Notes. Brother, after the death of his twin brother Castor, Pollux took it in turns with him to dwell
Castor
in the
and
underworld.
Pollux?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Have you not read The Hunger Games?
No.
Oh my gosh. In The Mockingjay, there's these brothers called Castor and Pollux. Spoiler alert, one of them dies.
Oh,
Or maybe
I
they
remember
both
you
die.
telling me. I remember that from the movie. But yeah, they're named after these ancient myths.
Is there?
Castor and Pollux were twins, and then one of them died.
Uh-huh.
And according to this, so Castor died, and then Pollux took it in turns with him to dwell in the underworld to keep him company, I guess.
What about Cressida? Is that a Roman something character?
Might be. Let's look. Let's see if it's in the Cretheus, Crusa, Crinius, Crucinius. I don't think so. Well, I mean, you could look it up, but
I don't care that much.
okay.
It just struck me as interesting.
Certes, the sandbank against which the Trojans were driven by the storm in Book 1.
Let's go back to what you were talking about, best practices, aka stealing all of the other filmmaker podcaster ideas.
We're not stealing all their ideas.
What's some of the other stuff that they've done that we can do since we have no idea what
See,
we're doing?
when you put me on the spot, I forget.
Well, yeah, fair.
Lots of them, some of them will interview people. They'll interview people a lot.
We do that sometimes.
We do.
We're going to do that more than we have done.
Yeah. But often they talk specifically about their projects. Which, I mean, that's fine. Promoting projects is a great idea. But I like that we're not focused on that. We're focused on ideas more than things, I guess.
I like the idea of dinner.
Dinner would be great.
I'm hungry.
I am also hungry. Titles in Every Man's Library. Jane Austen. 7 books.
Wait, men read Jane Austen?
Italo Calvino. If on a winter's night, a traveler. I don't know what that is. Miguel de Cervantes. Don Quixote. I read book 1 of that. John Keats. The Poems.
The poems. Let's make a movie called The Movie.
Let's do it. I would love that. Or The Movies would be even weirder. The Movies.
Actually, yeah. That could be really cool.
E.M. Forster, Howard's End, A Passage to India. Giorgio Vasari, Lives of the Painters, Sculptors, and Architects. That sounds potentially interesting. Lawrence Stern, Tristram Shandy. I've heard of that. Robert Louis Stevenson, The Master of Ballantrae and Weir of Hermiston, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and other stories.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yeah, I read that one.
I've not.
Edith Wharton, The Age of Innocence, The Custom of the Country, The House of Mirth, The Reef. The New Testament, King James Version. I didn't know that was published. Wait, George Orwell, Animal Farm, 1984,
Ooh,
Essays.
I want to read that one.
Which one?
Animal Farm.
I've read it.
Good?
Yeah, but I don't remember a whole lot about it. I just know that everything goes bad for them at the end. Not surprisingly.
Yeah.
Because communism. Have you read 1984?
No.
I haven't either, but I want to read that one.
Me too. I just read Brave New World.
Yeah.
It made me cry. A few times, actually. It's not a sad book, but it's sad.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn, One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. I've heard good things about that one, but I've never read it.
I've not heard of it.
John Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath.
Oh, I read that one.
Oh, was it any good?
It was a little slow for me, but I was in high school. It didn't seem to have much of a story.
That's sometimes
it was
not
just
a good thing.
Granted, this was almost 10 years ago, if not over 10 years ago, but it really felt just like these characters, and they're in the South. Life is sucky and awful. And they leave. The only thing I really remember is at the end, someone's starving to death, and someone else, a mother, just lost her baby, but she was still lactating as though she fed the man with her breasts, and it was weird.
That is very weird.
And that was the end of the book. I was in 9th grade. This is weird.
An excerpt from the Aeneid. Enid. The Passion of the Queen, Book 4, line 443. To whom do you abandon me, a dying woman, guest that you are, the only name now left from that of husband? Why do I live on? Shall I, until my brother Pygmalion comes to pull my walls down? Or the Gaetulan Iarbas leads me captive. If at least there were a child by you for me to care for, a little one to play in my courtyard and give me back Aeneas, in spite of all, I should not feel so utterly defeated, utterly bereft. She ended there. The man by Jove's command held fast his eyes and fought down the emotion of his heart. At length he answered, As for myself, be sure I never shall deny all you can say, your majesty, of what you meant to me. Never will the memory of Alyssa stale for me, while I can still remember my own life and the spirit rules my body. As to the event, a few words. Do not think I meant to be deceitful and slip away. I never held the torches of a bridegroom, never entered upon the pact of marriage. If fate permitted me to spend my days by my own lights and make the best of things according to my wishes, first of all I should look after Troy and the loved relics left me of my people. Priam's great hall should stand again. I should have restored the power of Pergamum for Trojans in defeat. But now it is a rich Italian land Apollo tells me I must make for. Italy, named by his oracles. There is my love, there is my country.
I kind of fell asleep while you were reading that.
I thought I did rather a good job, never
I
mind.
thought you did a great job too, but I'm tired.
So am I.
I think it's the way you read, because you have this nice, like, what's the word?
Rhythm?
Yeah. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book.
Okay.
I have no context for any of this. He was an electrician, a building worker employed on a building site along with many other workers. I did not send him off to teach dialectical materialism to nuclear physicists. Much more significantly, I sent him to teach a beginner's course, and the people he taught were ordinary building workers like himself, drawn from the same building site. By day, they were so many building workers, together sharing the work and the mud and the inconveniences of life on a great building job. But at night, he was Batman.
Not actually too far from the truth. I do have context on that, actually. I know exactly what chapter that is.
Wait, so what happens? I don't think I can find it again.
It's okay. So, do you want context?
Sure.
Yeah, so Dedication and Leadership by Douglas Hyde is a book about communist practices.
Oh.
It's not like, oh, this is how it is. It's how the communists infiltrate, essentially, and how they're effective, and how other people, namely Christians, but it could be anybody, can use their same methods and to be successful. So the story of Jim is the chapter that excerpt is from, and he talks about how there was this guy Jim who was, like, by all accounts, like a pathetic person who also had, like, a tremendous stutter, and he came up to Douglas Hyde, who was a former communist at the time. He was the editor of the Daily Worker, which was a communist newspaper in London. This was like in the 30s or 40s or something. But Jim came up and he said, so you said while stuttering, like, you can teach anybody to be a leader? And Douglas Hyde is like, well, yeah. And Jim's like, I would love to be a leader. And so they taught him. And the whole story was about, the whole chapter is about the methods of teaching and their formulas, essentially, and how they teach people, and then they like progressively making it more challenging while not making it too overwhelming. And so this Jim guy, he became a great teacher, and he taught a lot of people, and he became like a leader of his union and stuff like that. And to loosely quote Dan Heed from the Bauer podcast episode, in which they talk about this, Douglas Hyde paints it as a triumph, but it's actually a tragedy, because Jim gave his life to communism instead of to something actually good, beneficial for the world. But Jim succeeded in what he wanted, but
just those damn commies.
I know. Anyway, good book. Good podcast. I recently re-listened to the entire How to Take Over the World series, and my editing at the beginning was not good. I turned everything up way too loud, and so it was like peaking all over the place.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, you've learned.
I have so much learned.
Part.
I've learned so much. I mean, I have so much learned.
I have so much learned.
I have so much learned.
She has so much learned, guys.
I do.
You never answered my question earlier. What?
Oh, sorry.
What do other filmmakers talk about on their podcast other than like their own stuff?
No, what I meant by that was they bring on other people to talk about their stuff, about the other people's stuff.
Mm. And people listen to that?
Well, yeah, it's interesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool. We should get more guests.
We should. We're in that process.
We have guests lined up.
Yes.
But today we're tired and hungry and don't know what to talk about, so we're just talking.
Yeah.
Have you seen any good movies lately? Or any movies at all?
Oof. That's a good question. I would normally look on Letterboxd because Letterboxd would tell me if I've seen movies.
Fair.
But my phone is right there. I guess I could look on the laptop.
Or just use your memory.
I'm trying to. I guess, we've been watching Lockwood.
Oh, yeah.
You saw a cool movie called Animal World?
Oh, my gosh. That was a
tell
good
us
movie.
About that. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of good movies lately. But
Cool.
Animal World is Chinese. Yeah, Chinese. But it's also half in English because this guy, his mother's in the hospital and his girlfriend works at the hospital, but he is like a clown at a entertainment park or something. And he gets presented with this opportunity to get a lot of money really fast. And he's in medical debt for his mom, and he wants to marry his girlfriend, but he doesn't have any money. And so he goes and he does this thing to get money. But it's like a life or death situation, and I won't say too much about it. It's on Netflix. It is fantastic. It's a few years old now, so like CGI isn't quite up to par, but the story and the way it's told is amazing. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really good movie.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. You should watch it.
I will.
Yeah.
Brooke tells me, watches things, and then she tells me, oh, you wouldn't like this. Just skip it.
Oh, wait, you might not like Animal World. It's kind of violent.
I'm okay with
Like
some
a lot.
violence.
The other thing about this main character, who's a clown at his day job, he gets these panic attacks and then, like, in his mind turns into a psycho killer clown and starts killing things.
Goodness.
It's great, Kate. It's a good movie.
I believe you.
Yeah, I'm not explaining that part very well because it's not, like, intrinsic to the story, but, like, it ties in a little bit there, so it's good. It's good. I liked it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I saw just the end of it the other day when I came in.
Yeah.
What have I watched? Ooh. I watched the Batman movies from the 80s.
The Dark Knight trilogy? No.
That's not the 80s, Brooke.
I just got excited. Okay.
That's the 2000s. That's like when we were alive.
Oh.
Brooke, I don't know about you, but I was not alive in the 80s.
I wasn't either, okay?
I was going to say, if you were, that would have been news to me. Wait,
Been
80s
news
or
to
90s?
me too.
Shoot. I think
Who was Batman?
Michael Keaton. I couldn't remember his name.
Oh.
I wanted to say Keanu Reeves, which was not
Keanu Reeves as Batman,
That's
though?
not even remotely the same thing. Well, even remotely the same person.
I'm gonna look it up. Michael Keaton's Batman movies.
I think it's like 1989 and then like 92. Yeah. 'Cause the second
89.
one, the second one came out the same year as Terminator 2. There were a lot
It's
of good
just
movies
called
in 92.
Batman.
Yeah,
That's
the
why
next
the
one
new
is
one
Batman Returns.
Oh yeah. That's why the new one is called The Batman, which I still haven't seen.
You need to.
I know.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
You have that.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
And the Dark Knight movies are also on HBO Max.
those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a Val Kilmer Batman movie from the 90s that I've never heard of before. Because at first I thought, like, oh, is this like a continuation of like the Michael Keaton Batman movies? But no. It's like a standalone, apparently.
Interesting.
And I've never heard of it, so I'm guessing it's probably terrible.
What was the Batman with Heath Ledger as the Joker?
That was the Dark Knight ones, I think.
Okay, those are good.
Nice.
Heath Ledger. Oh man.
I've still only ever seen him in A Knight's Tale.
Fair. Oh, what's that one rom-com he's in with?
10 Things I Hate About You?
Yeah.
That's been on my list, but I can't find it anywhere. I don't know where to watch
I will
it.
find it for us,
Please
Kate.
do. I've seen like clips from it. It looks really good.
It's really
I've
good.
never actually
It's
seen
one
it.
of the best rom-coms, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a rom-com recently.
You saw a rom-com.
I saw a movie. It was Notting Hill. I've seen at least parts of it, if not most of it, before. But like this was like the whole thing. I just sat down and watched it the other night.
What's that about?
It is about a lonely, shy bookstore owner in London, and one day a famous actress comes into his bookstore, and she buys a book, and then they keep like running into each other. Well, I don't know. He's there, and his employee is like, "Shall I run and get us some coffee?" And he's like, "Sure." So then he's there, and then the actress comes in, and like, anyway, it's a pretty great scene because she's there, and like he's like, maybe like, does he recognize her? Does he not recognize her? And then this other guy comes in, and then in the cameras, and then the other guy goes into like the other room, and in the cameras, the bookstore owner, shoot, what's his name? So the actress's name is Anna. Like Anna Smith or something like that. It wasn't Smith. It wasn't Smith. Anyway, her name is Anna. I can't remember what his name is, but he, like, on the cameras, he sees the other guy who came in, like, try to steal a book, like, hide it in his clothes. So he goes in there and he's like, "Excuse me, like, I saw you slip a book down your trousers. You can't do that." William Thacker, yes.
Played by Hugh Grant.
Yeah. Who was also in The Gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so he's like, "Yeah, you can't do that, give it back." And the guy's like, "Fine." And so then the guy goes back, and then he sees Anna, and he's like, "Can I have your autograph?" And she's like, "Sure." Oh, I forget if the guy buys the book or if he just like gives her a paper, and she's like, she's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Bob," or something like that. She's like, "To Bob, you belong in jail. From Anna." Like, and so then like she leaves, the wannabe thief leaves, and then the employee comes back, and then William's like, "You'll never guess who was just in here." And the employee's like, "What? Was it somebody famous?" And he's like, "Ugh, never mind." And then like he heads out and goes to go get like another coffee or something, and then it was an orange juice, and then he comes around the corner and spills it all over Anna. And then he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, my house is like right down the road. Do you want to change?" So like she comes and like she changes in his house, and he's like, "What the heck is happening? Like, this is," and then he's like, "It's nice to meet you. Surreal but nice." And then she leaves, and he's like, "Surreal but nice? Why did I say that? That's the stupidest line I could have ever had." So they run into each other more. There's romantic tension, and she goes on a date with him to like his family's like annual dinner or something like that. And he has this conversation with like a brother-in-law or something who comes in, and he's like talking about all this stuff. Scott, that's her name, Anna Scott.
Yes,
not
that's
Smith.
what I just showed you.
I was looking at what his name was, not her name was. So, and the guy's like, "Oh my gosh, like all this stuff, da 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 da," and everybody else recognizes Anna except him. And he's like, "So what do you do?" She's like, "I'm an actress." He's like, How does that pay? Like, I've heard it doesn't really pay all that well." And he's talking about all this stuff, like, "How much did you get paid for your last gig?" And she's like, $3 million. And he's like, okay. And then like she leaves and she goes to the bathroom, and then they're like, "Dude, excuse me." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I was in a Scott. I feel so embarrassed." Anyway, that's a lot of detail
the whole
about
synopsis,
that movie.
and then some.
Yeah, so that's like in the middle. So
and then they end up getting married and fall in love and stuff.
They do, and there's of course complications in between. But yeah, it's a rom-com.
Yeah,
you know, you can tell. There's a formula.
It checked all the boxes.
Oh yeah, it's fun though. I like it.
Oh yeah, a well done rom-com is fun, even though it has those tropes.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually a movie. I gotta look it up now. Because I can never remember what it's called. It's British, but it stars a British guy and an American girl. What's her name? Rachel McAdams.
Okay. I know she was in like a lot of 2000s rom-coms. I've seen her in
This one's newer.
Okay.
Newer-ish.
Okay.
Oh, I guess she's Canadian, not American.
Oh, I didn't know that.
About Time, 2013. It is so cute.
I've never heard of it.
I know. Like, no one's heard of it. Huh. It's so good. Yeah, so it stars Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson.
I've heard of him.
And Bill Nighy. Nighy? Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
As Dad. That's his character name. Margot Robbie's in it. few other names that I don't immediately recognize, but are probably still famous people. But
Nice.
anyways, it's so cute because this guy, Domhnall Gleeson's character, he can time travel by like going into a closet and jumping back to his past, like into
this
his
sounds
past
like Everything
body,
Everywhere All at Once, but like not.
but opposite because they can't time travel. They can travel like across universes, but not back and forth in their own timeline.
I guess.
So he goes back and he discovers this like at a party or something, and he has fun with it and all that. And then he meets this girl, Rachel McAdams' character. He ends up like going to this art gallery, and he waits for her for like a week because she mentioned the first time they met that she really liked this artist. And he was like, I know nothing else about her, but there's this art gallery for this artist this week, so I'm just going to go there and wait for her. And he finds her. And she brought another guy, because it's been like a week since they met. And so he goes back in time after he finds out where those two met, and he goes to like that party, and he like steals her away from him. And it's so cute. He does that a few times, but like it's a fantastic rom-com, and
Awesome.
it has like a really good like subplot with like the dad. It's very good. Highly recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know who Domhnall or whatever his name
Domhnall Gleeson,
is now. I've seen him in the Star Wars sequels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen him in other things. I know he was in Ex Machina. I forget what else he was in, but he was in like a lot of things.
Yeah, he was in Harry Potter as the oldest Weasley son, Bill.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure he's Mad-Eye Moody's son.
Really?
Yeah. In real life, like the actor who plays Mad-Eye Moody.
Oh, I thought you meant...
Not character-wise.
I was thinking of, what's his name? The guy that was pretending to be Mad-Eye. I was like, they don't
David
look
Tennant?
anything similar.
No, Brendan Gleeson.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the Banshees of Inisherin.
Nice. We still need to see that.
I know.
I think it's on HBO Max. I think
Yeah.
it is because I added it to my like watch
on
watch
HBO.
list or
Mhm.
something. Cool.
Oh, and Colin Farrell's in that too. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's a fantastic cast. Why have we not watched this movie?
Because we're watching shows.
Well, we don't need to watch,
And this
what
is...
is it, Lockwood.
I thought you were enjoying
I do.
it.
I am enjoying Lockwood.
Me too.
Good. We're almost done with it though, so now we can watch
I know.
the movie.
The weird thing is, like, even over my break I had last week, it was like, what? Like, I have all the time, like, I could have watched a bunch of movies, but, like, every time I thought about watching a movie, I was like, I don't know. Like, even something that looked interesting, like, either, like, oh, that's so much of a time commitment, or whatever it was. It just,
Mhm.
something in me just, like, did not want to watch a movie. And I
Yeah.
kind of still feel like that. Like, a show, I guess, is less commitment.
It's like weirdly more but less commitment at the same time.
Yeah, it's, like, less...
You only have to
on
watch
that
like
time, but,
30 to
like,
60 minutes of an
yeah.
episode. But all in all, there's
Like, and
usually
then
like
it's
6 to 8 hours of
spreading out
show.
the whole story over however many days. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
No, it makes sense because like you don't really just pause a movie. I like this topic that we're on now finally.
Yeah.
Movies. Who would have thunk?
We're becoming so generic. We're just talking about movies. We're a film podcast.
We're a film podcast.
We're a
I just
film
saw The
podcast.
Whale.
Oh, yeah?
Deserving of all the actor
Is that where you went this afternoon?
awards. No,
Okay.
I watched this a week ago.
Oh, cool.
Brendan Fraser, oh my gosh, he's amazing. I mean, he always was, but especially in this role, amazing. All the actors were amazing.
Nice.
Sadie Sink, who plays Max from Stranger Things, played his daughter.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
I was trying to remember where I heard that name before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are a few other, like 3 other actors, really. Small cast, but amazing. It's A24, too, the studio that did Everything Everywhere All
Yeah.
at Once. So now that I've been watching more of their movies, I've been noticing that they are very subtle in their like messages, their themes. Because we've talked about Everything Everywhere All at Once before, and how I saw it had a really positive ending, whereas you saw it had more of a negative ending. And The Whale is kind of the same. It has a couple of subplots, all weaving around, well, they're more like character arcs, plots. I don't know. And then one of them has like this really awesome ending. And then a couple of them have like, you don't really know their endings, but you could see it going either way. And then one of them has like a maybe positive ending, maybe negative ending. And like, I don't know. I can't really say much more without like spoiling
don't spoil it.
But
I'll watch it.
you should watch it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it because, yeah.
We're not careful. This is just going to be us talking about movies.
Oh, darn.
Now, I'm excited for the guests that we have lined up. I'm really excited for how those conversations are going to go.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But for now, I like talking about movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just geek out about movies all day. Like, seriously. Don't get me started on Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
I won't. Other movies that I've seen recently. So within the last month, I saw a movie called 3:10 to Yuma. There's an original, which is the one I watched, and then there's like a new one, which is the one Mario had watched. So Mario's like, "Oh, this is a good movie. Let's watch it." It was like, and he like actually didn't know that the one he'd watched was a remake. Apparently, the remake is really good too. But I watched the original. So
nice.
Yeah,
I've not seen the original, but I think I've watched the remake.
Okay.
It came out a few years back.
It's like 2010 or something, I think.
A few
maybe.
years. 12 years.
Well, that's a guess. I don't know for sure
I
that's what it was. But it had somebody in it that I was familiar with, but I don't remember who it was right now. Some guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
A famous actor that I've heard the name of. For me to have heard the name, and they had to be pretty famous.
Yeah.
Watching that movie was the first time, but via Mario's commentary, that I heard the word Riz. I was like, what?
This is also the first time I've heard this word.
It's all over the interwebs currently. It's apparently, if I had to guess, it would be fairly recent slang for like charisma and attraction, and from a man specifically. Like,
interesting.
Like, if you have Riz, you're like sexy and like appealing and like there's like good at talking, kind of like, because this one character Mario's like, this guy has so much Riz. I'm like, Mario, he's actually kind of a creep. But it's this one main villain character, and he's like smooth talking all the ladies and stuff, and he was like, this part did not age really well, but like he's talking to this bartender girl, and he's like, and he like goes behind the bar, and he's like getting close to her, and he's like, you're kind of skinny. She's like, I forget what he says, but he's like, I can like a skinny girl every now and then. I was like, like, he's being so rude. And then, like, why does she like him?
I ask that question often.
Yeah. What? Wait, what?
I'm just thinking of Wednesday.
Oh. Yeah.
I am
Anyway.
excited for season 2 of that show, though. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure. I acknowledge that it's really not great in a lot of ways, and yet I still enjoy it.
We can talk about the ending of Wednesday, because when we last recorded talking about Wednesday, we hadn't finished it yet.
That's right.
Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better.
Yeah. I, too, am going to watch season 2.
I really do like, in fact, I love, what's her name? Jenna Ortega. She's amazing. And she does Wednesday very well, I think. However, I don't like how they've written her character. We've discussed that before. But she did have a bit of a character arc at the end, which I appreciated. Yeah, she wasn't quite so selfish at the end, which was nice.
And there was that one episode where everything kind of came crashing down on her because of that.
Yeah,
So
that was nice. I appreciated that.
Painful to watch.
Yeah.
For her sake, but good.
There will be spoilers now for the end of it if you have still not watched it yet. I don't know if I recommend it or not. That's up to you. Yeah, I thought the whole Tyler being the villain thing wasn't really well done, because I never cared about him. I never had a reason to care about him. Like, oh my gosh, he has daddy issues. Great.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, he was very basic and boring. At least, what was the other guy's name? Xander? I liked him a lot more. I should remember his name. Something Xavier,
I think.
At least he was slightly more interesting with like his painting hobby.
He also seemed like actually teenager-ish.
Yeah.
Because the actor was like 20. Well, the
Yeah.
other actor was like 27 or something.
Whoa.
The Tyler actor, yeah, he's like late 20s. Oof. Oh well.
Yeah, I like that guy who played Xavier. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Once again, I do think all the issues fall back on the writing of it. I thought it was well acted. I love Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She was probably my favorite part of that show.
I still feel like we didn't get to know her well enough, though.
Didn't.
I'm sure that was on purpose, like mystery and I don't know.
But considering that she died in the end, we should have gotten to know her more. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you do with characters who die. You give the audience many reasons to love them, and then you kill them. That's what you do. And if you don't do that, it's like, oh, well, I don't care about that death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, the thing that you said about Tyler was like, oh, he's a villain. Well, no wonder he's interested in Wednesday. Because it was like, why does everybody like her?
Yeah.
Well, that's why. He's like,
Yeah.
he's a murderous monster. That's why.
He was told to like her. And, like, in hindsight, like, rewatching the show, that might be better. Like, knowing that. But watching it for the first time, I just could not stop questioning, like, why does Tyler like her? She's awful.
Yeah.
She does not care about him. She has nothing interesting, like, to give to him at all. She treats him like garbage. At least with Xavier, they have, like, a little bit of back and forth because he's not such a child.
Yeah.
I have an idea for a future podcast episode, which I guess we could even do now.
Yeah.
Speed dating, but not dating. Just, like, asking each
Speed?
other really questions really fast and, like, having to answer with, like, a timer.
Oh, I don't like that. I would suck at that.
So? That'd be
I don't like
fun.
being bad at stuff, Brooke. You know this about me.
Yeah, but it'd be fun and
For
funny.
you.
For example. Okay, wait, I need a question.
For example, she says, and then immediately her brain goes out the window.
It did. Which is bad because there's not even a window in this room. There's a window.
And like a couple of doorways.
Okay, I don't know. I was picturing this earlier in the night as we were talking.
Okay.
And the thing is, I need, like, questions. And they don't have to specifically relate to film. But, like, okay, what is your favorite musical?
Singing in the Rain.
Nice. That's a classic. Now you ask me something.
What's your favorite musical?
Cliche. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I love that one.
That's one of my favorites. I also like Sound of Music. I also like... I guess The Court Jester is kind of a musical.
Yeah.
But not, like, specifically a musical. There's singing in it, but there's not, like, as much singing as in a typical musical. Anyway.
Okay, next question. If you had to dye your hair any color that isn't natural, what would it be?
Bright red.
Nice.
I'm going to do that someday.
Nice.
And then I'm going to transition to being a ginger for a while. That's going to be fun.
Cool.
If you could be any race from Lord of the Rings, what would you be?
Hobbit.
Nice.
Yeah. You?
Probably elf.
I can see you as an elf.
I can also see you as a hobbit.
Yeah. It's because I'm short.
You're not even really that short.
I'm short.
5'4" is average for an American
Every
woman.
person I know is taller than me. Wait, how tall is Kyle?
Probably like 5'4".
Almost every person is taller than me.
Trevor's not that tall either.
Yeah, but he's
Maybe
taller
slightly
than me.
taller than that. I don't know.
Okay, what is your favorite style of front porch?
Castle.
So moat?
Well, no. I don't know. I'm just picturing like stone. But I don't know if that's actually true. Wraparound porches are cool, but I've never like really spent a lot of time on them, so I don't know if they're as cool as they seem. Yeah.
I would also answer with moat. But a moat that I could swim in.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
The thing about a moat is if you've got like toddlers running around, you gotta fence it, and if you fence it, then it ceases to look like a moat and
you
just
don't need
looks.
to fence it. You just need to watch your kids.
You need to fence it.
No, you tell them don't go off this cliff. They'll learn. Hey, all I'm saying is I grew up around an unfenced pool and all of my cousins and I survived. And if I were a child, I would climb over the fence. I would climb over the fence as an adult.
I thought you were going to say, Kate, you could make the fence look cool. You could make it look like a castle. I got the completely opposite answer.
Favorite movie genre?
Action?
Wait. Favorite movie genre to make?
Drama.
Favorite to watch?
Action. Have we made dramas? I don't think we've actually... No, Palm Springs was drama.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Not the Drama was kind of a dramedy.
True. Of the three, it was definitely the saddest.
Yeah. Sorry, Nathan.
I know, that was like, oh man.
That's sad. Nathan's fine, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Watch the movie, you'll understand.
Yes.
Oh. All right, any final questions? I feel like this is wrapping up.
Which is your favorite of the stickers that are on my laptop?
Favorite sticker?
Favorite sticker.
This is slightly unfair to the people who aren't watching. But I'll describe them all and then pick my favorite.
If they pay attention to Grannon, they'll have seen my laptop in multiple things.
There's a lot of good ones on here. I really like the Mac one. I really like the Firefly one. You Can't Take the Sky From Me. That's a good one. The Jesus is King. I mean, it's hard to beat that one.
Yeah.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. That's a good one. One day you'll be old enough to start reading fairy tales again, and it's a lamppost, like from Narnia.
Exactly.
I just read Narnia.
You did.
It was fantastic. I cried a lot. I don't normally cry, for the record. Well, this has been a fun random episode.
You didn't tell me what your favorite sticker was.
Well, it's hard to pick. I'm going to go with the Lord of the Rings one. Because it's true. There is good in this world, and it is worth fighting for.
Yeah. On that note, fight evil.
For good.
Fight evil. Alrighty.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe or whatever you do on this platform. And we will see you another time.
Yeah. Next time we will have a topic.
Yeah.
We better. We've got a guest.
Well, there's our topic, our guest.
There we go. All right, till next time.